What's going on, guys? This is Riggs. Welcome back to the channel, and I have a very special video in store for you today. What we're talking about is weapon loadouts. What is the best weapon for each map, or the best loadout? I get this question asked all the time. Riggs, what is your favorite weapon? And it's such a difficult question to answer. It's not just a cut and dry black and white kind of answer. It really depends on the map. So we're going to go ahead and break down each map and talk about what the best weapon loadout is. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we're going to start off with the Dusty Deserts in Miramar. And Miramar is unlike any of the other maps. It's very, very unique in the sense that a lot of the, or I'd say the majority of your engagements on Miramar are going to be long distance or even mid-range. Yes, you will have, face-to-face, up in your face style contacts, but it's going to be much less frequent than on the other maps. Now, because of this, the style of weapons that you're going to want on Miramar are ones that have low recoil. The weapons I find myself using the most on Miramar is the UMP9 because, I mean, it's a freaking laser. It does a crap ton of damage, and it's very, very decent mid-range. Now, usually it depends. If I find the UMP first and I can get it kitted relatively quickly, I'll hang on to that. Of course, you can never go wrong with your M416. Also, another weapon I like using a lot on Miramar is actually, look at this, it's just the M416, and the fact that you can find this weapon on all four of the maps makes it that much more deadly when you get it in your hands because you know exactly how to use it. You know its characteristics. Now, another weapon I like using a lot on Miramar is the Scar L. The Scar L has a huge fan base, and the fact that it's only available on 2 maps now, Miramar and Erangel, when I can find the Scar L, more often than not, I end up hanging on to it. It's beautiful with a red dot, a 2x. My personal favorite is the 3x, actually. I find myself using that probably more than any of the other scopes. So that pretty much sums it up for your AR, or if you're an SMG person, you definitely want to stick with the UMP9. Now, because of the long engagements, of course, the weapon you're going to want to have is going to be the AWM. If you can find a flare gun, or if you can get to an airdrop and you're lucky enough to have an AWM. And this pretty much is going to be blanketed for all 4 of the maps. Maybe not Sawnock, but we'll get into that towards the end of the video. But the AWM, if you can have that on your back, it's insane what happens to your confidence when you have an AWM. I mean, it one-shots any helmet. It does not matter. Level 3, it does not matter. It's getting blown off, and that person's getting knocked. Of course, I mean, any bolt action on Miramar is going to do the job. Kar 98, M24, I mean, they're very, very similar. The Kar 98 and the M24, is one going to be favored more than the other? I guess it's just personal preference. I think people find the Kar 98 more, so people end up using the Kar 98 more, so they might actually feel more comfortable with it. But any bolt action, the reason why I stay away from DMRs on Miramar is because of the long engagements. If you have an SKS or a Mini, it might take 3, sometimes even 4 hits in order to take someone down. And with those long distance engagements, you have to make sure every single shot is hitting, because the second they find cover, they're going to be able to heal up, and then, you're not going to get the knock, and, the engagement continues. But that's why I'd much rather prefer a bolt action, a one-shot, one-kill style of weapon on Miramar. All right, guys, next up, next map that we're going to be talking about is, of course, Erangel. Erangel is amazing. Everybody knows it. You cannot deny the fact. It's the default map. You cannot deny the fact that Erangel has a special place, I think, in all of our hearts. Now, with that, the loadouts on Erangel, I want to say, can often be the most bizarre. Now, everyone's going to have your go-to loadouts, like your M4, Kar 98 style loadouts. But what's nice about Erangel is it seems like on this map you could almost use anything. I find myself using The Tommy gun, I'll find myself using an Uzi. I've got an entire game on Erangel just using an Uzi. Now, one thing, look at this person just camping on this top floor. I don't understand why people play the way that they play sometimes. But one weapon I want to talk about specifically before we, break down everything else is the DP28. Unfortunately, the DP28 can only be found on Erangel right now. And if you guys get the crown right now in Season 7, you can get the silver-plated DP28. It's amazing. So, the DP28, again, I don't know why it's only available on Erangel, and I don't know why this weapon is still broken. The reason why I say it's still broken is because of its lack of recoil. It pretty much has none. More often than not, you'll find people throw a 4X on a DP28, and the recoil is just non-existent. Or they'll have a 3X, or they'll have a 6X, they'll drop it down to 3, that kind of thing. But the DP28, you guys definitely want to give this a try. It's amazing. Like I already said, I'll go an entire game using a Tommy gun on Erangel. Of course, UMP. Here we have a UMP. Look at this with a 2X up on the hill of Razak. You can see right there. I mean, it's just the
enemies ahead.
The amount of weapons that you can use on Erangel because of the style of engagements. You have long engagements, you have mid-range, you have up-in-your-face close-quarter combat engagements. Check this out. Georgia Pole crates. Look at this. A shotgun. I mean, it just seems like you can use anything on this map and you end up having a lot of success. Of course, like I was saying, with the Miramar map, you can use the Scar L. I don't know, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. I just find myself more often than not just using the most bizarre loadouts. Look, I have a VSS and a Scar L in this one. Yeah, I want to know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are. You can see right here we have an Uzi and a Car 98. Yeah, I just feel like the possibilities are endless in the style of loadouts that you can have. And I know you guys might be like, well, okay, well, what's the best loadout? I really don't have one for Erangel. The other 3 maps, I do have my preferences, but Erangel, you can pretty much use anything. Another thing now, as far as snipers, again, I would probably recommend bolt actions, but because there is a lot of cover, because you have that grass, you have all the trees and everything, bolt action is probably going to be your go-to. However, I often find myself using the SKS and the Mini. The engagements are not quite as far distance as they are on Miramar, so a DMR can be very, very deadly. Here's just another good example of it right here. This dude just chilling up here on this top floor. Beautiful headshot. But yeah, for some reason I find myself using the Mini and the SKS, but of course an AWM or any bolt action is going to get the job done on Erangel. All right, guys, next up is going to be the Kindy. And this one's important. I've actually began towards like the middle of the season. I've really started to play the Kindy a lot more. Season 6, I probably played 1 game on it. Now, as far as loadouts, I really started to fall in love with the weapon I'm using right now, the one you guys are seeing, and that's the G36C. Of course, it's exclusive to the Kindy, but I find myself getting more squad wipes with the G36C than any other weapon. It's basically has the same recoil pattern as like a UMP9, but it does the damage of a 5.56. Just watch these knocks, you guys. We have 1 knock. There goes the second one. We already did 1 squad wipe in the first clip. But yeah, the G36, red dot 2X, again 3X, similar to, like I said, it's kind of like a cross between a UMP9 and an M416, but it has the damage of a 5.56 caliber round versus a 9mm round. But yeah, definitely G36C. You can never go wrong with it. One weapon I really like using a lot on Vikindi is, of course, going to be the Tommy gun. This thing, I don't know what it is, and maybe I'll go ahead and throw a card up at the top. You guys can watch it, or I'll leave a link down in the description. But the Tommy gun is a weapon I've really become fond of over the past couple seasons, and for whatever reason on Vikindi, I just seem to shred with it. Look at this, maybe a 100-meter shot. It's also maybe I've just gotten so used to it, and I'd recommend maybe you should maybe get used to it as well. But the Tommy gun just lands so many shots. It's incredible. And as far as snipers, I would still go with bolt actions, just like on Miramar. It's a very similar play style to Miramar as far as the mid to long range distance engagements. Now, of course, you can be using the Mini 14, but if I had a DMR and I found any bolt action, I'm probably gonna pick it up on Vikendi, just because of the fact that you can get some pretty interesting mid to long range engagements in the one shot, one kill, or one shot, one knock style bolt action rifles. And Vikendi has so much cover. If you start popping someone, a beautiful shot right there. If you start popping somebody with a DMR like a SKS or a Mini, they can quickly find cover, and you might not be able to land those 3 or 4 shots needed. You know, again, just kind of, just some kind of food for thought. As you guys are trying to figure out what the best loadout, for each of these weapons are, or for each of these maps are. But yeah, G36C, Tommy gun with a bolt action all day. You can be very, very successful. Okay, so last but not least, and these are not in any particular order. I have a lot of fun playing Sonok. But you have to figure out some type of order, right? Sonok is probably similar to how Miramar is kind of exclusive all to itself. I would say Sonok is the same thing, because the majority of your engagements on Sonok are 100% up in your face. Yes, you are going to have some mid-range. I wouldn't even say you have long-range engagements on Sonok. And by long range, I mean, 200 to 300 meters away. Most of your fights are going to be up in your face. Now, because of that, the type of weapon you're going to want to have as your primary on Sonok is a weapon that's going to do a crap ton of damage. And my preference is always going to be something like an AKM or an M762. Nice one-shot glitch there. I've been getting that a lot lately as well. But I would say the M762, I probably prefer the AKM over the M762, but either one of these assault rifles are going to get the job done, as well as even something like an Uzi. An Uzi has the fastest firing rate of any weapon in the game. So any of these weapons are going to do... They're going to do you justice on Sonok, and it's because of the style of engagement that you have. Now, of course, we have the QZB, or the QB, I would say that, the QBZ, which is also amazing, and what's nice is it's exclusive to Sonok, so the only place you can use it is on this map. So more often than not, when I find it, especially if I have an M4 or if I have something like a UMP, if I find a QBZ, more often than not, I end up switching it out. And I often find myself running 2 assault rifles as opposed to an assault rifle and a DMR, or an assault rifle and a bolt action sniper rifle. I really don't think you need it on this map. I think having an SMG and an assault rifle, but more often than not, I'm running 2 ARs on Sonok, and again, it's because of the style of engagements, and I've really grown fond of the QBZ. It is freaking deadly, and as you guys have seen, we've had some really up in your face style engagements, and I mean, it does the job. It does what it needs to do. As you guys see right here, we'll go ahead and take him out. But yeah, I really want to know what you guys think. Also, down in the comment section, before I forget to mention it, let me know what your favorite loadout is on each map, or just what your favorite loadout is on your favorite map, because to me, they vary a lot. I don't just have a 100% go-to. I'm using this no matter what. I also think having more weapons in your arsenal, no pun intended, but being able to use a big variety of weapons makes you that much more deadly on the battlegrounds. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content, and look at the beautiful freaking overlay that we have now on the bottom. Small I mean, it's subtle, but it's definitely going to get the job done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. The best loadouts you can have on each map. Appreciate you hanging out with me. This has been Riggs from Riggs Gaming.